Meal prepping. It's supposed to be this amazing way to save time, eat healthy, and keep your wallet happy. But let's be honest, sometimes it leads to some seriously sad, soggy, and maybe even unsafe food by the middle of the week. So today, we're going to unpack the simple but absolutely crucial rules to make sure your meal prep is delicious and safe every single time. Ready to banish those sad desk lunches for good? Let's dive in.
Does this sound familiar? You spend a good part of your Sunday making these beautiful, perfect meals. But when Wednesday rolls around, you open that container and it's just a watery, wilted mess. You're not alone, I promise. This is the classic meal prep mistake. And it's not just about a disappointing lunch, it's actually about food safety. But don't worry, the fix is surprisingly simple, and we're going to walk through it step by step.
All right, to really get this, we're going to break down a perfect example. The high-protein taco chicken potato bowl from Chef Jack Ovens. So why this bowl? Well, because its components, you've got cooked protein, you've got fresh salsa, and a dairy sauce. It's literally the perfect training ground for learning the rules that will work for any meal you ever want to prep.
So if you look at how this is broken down, you'll start to see a really simple but powerful pattern. Let's forget the actual ingredients for a minute and just look at the categories. You have your cooked base. This is the stuff you're going to reheat. And then you have your fresh and dairy toppings. These are the things that make the meal taste alive and, well, fresh. This separation right here, that's the whole secret.
So here it is. This is the big one. If you take away only one thing today, let it be this. Your number one non-negotiable rule for meal prep is to always store your reheatable base separately from your fresh, cold toppings. I mean, always. Mixing them all together from day one is just a fast track to soggy textures, funky flavors, and honestly, a pretty great environment for bacteria to have a party.
Okay, so with that golden rule locked in, let's talk about the actual storage strategy. Because once you've cooked your base and you've separated everything, what you do next is absolutely critical for safety and for taste. This is the nitty-gritty, cooling it down right and making the big choice between the fridge and the freezer.
Okay, before you even think about putting a lid on that container, you have got to let your cooked food cool down a bit. Chef Ovens says about 15 to 20 minutes on the counter is perfect. Why is this so critical? Well, if you trap all that hot steam, you get condensation. And condensation is the enemy of good texture. It's what makes things soggy. Worse than that, it creates this warm, moist little incubator that bacteria absolutely thrives in. So just giving it that little pause is a step you can't skip. So, once it's cool, where does it go? You've got two great options here. Think of the fridge as your short-term plan, right? It's for this week's lunches, keeping everything fresh and ready to go. The freezer, on the other hand, that's your long-term secret weapon. It's like building a personal library of ready-made meals that'll save you on some busy night weeks from now. You just have to remember to plan for thawing.
So let's talk timelines. For that amazing cooked chicken and potato base, your magic number in the refrigerator is 4 days. That keeps it tasting great, the texture stays right, and most importantly, it's well within the food safety zone. So these are the meals you want to plan to eat first during the week. And for all of you who are planning way ahead, that same exact cooked base is good for up to 3 months in the freezer. Seriously, this is how you get way ahead of the game. You're basically building a stockpile of meals that will save future you a ton of time and stress.
And what about our French components? You know, the pico de gallo and that yummy yogurt lime sauce? As long as you keep them in their own separate, airtight containers in the fridge, they'll stay fresh and tasty for up to a week. This gives you a lot of flexibility to just add that perfect finishing touch to your meals all week long.
All right, you've cooked, you've cooled, you've stored everything perfectly. Now for the grand finale. And you know, this is the moment where so many good meal preps go so wrong. Reheating. Getting this right is the difference between an incredible meal and a total culinary disaster.
And you know, this quote from the chef himself just says it all. He gets comments from people who see the final photo and assume he just throws the whole thing in the microwave, sauce and all. But let's be really clear. Reheating fresh salsa or a creamy yogurt sauce, it's not just gross, it completely ruins the entire point of the meal. So here it is, the right way to do it, in 3 super simple steps. First, you reheat the base and only the base. For us, that's the chicken and potatoes. Second, pop it in the microwave for about 3 minutes, but give it a good stir halfway through so it heats evenly. And third, the best part, you add your cool, fresh toppings after the base is nice and hot. This is how you get that amazing contrast of hot and cold and that just-made taste.
So let's pull all of this together. By just breaking down this one recipe, we've actually uncovered a system that works for pretty much anything. This isn't just about a taco bowl. This is your ultimate playbook for any meal you want to prep.
So here they are, the 4 golden rules. 1. Always cool your cooked food before you cover it. 2. Your cooked base and your fresh toppings need to live in separate containers. It's not optional. 3. Know your timelines. 4 days in the fridge for the cooked stuff and up to 3 months in the freezer. And finally, 4. Reheat the base first, then add the fresh stuff on top. If you can master these, you've officially mastered meal prep.
You see, following these simple rules really does transform meal prepping from this chore that might end in disappointment to a true superpower